afternoon, evening, late afternoon, I guess. I'm going to be talking about the FA Cup this afternoon. I'm going to go over the second qualifying results, talk about the second qualifying round, one game in particular that stood out for pretty poor reasons, and then we'll go over the third qualifying round draw, which was made today. Really exciting. I love the FA Cup. I love this stage of the FA Cup as well. BCFC Roaster says you're a legend. Thank you. You are too. So we've got a couple of people on the live at the moment. Did anyone get to an FA Cup tie this weekend? I bet you were at Bristol City. Did Bristol City play away, Roaster? Did they win? Was it Sheffield Wednesday away they had? I was so engrossed in the FA Cup this weekend that I didn't even check the Premier League scores. Like I saw Sunday's games, but I didn't even check the Premier League scores until probably Sunday. I didn't know. I didn't even know. Like a friend went to Everton against. I can't even remember who Everton played, but yeah, I didn't check the results until after Everton Villa, wasn't it? So I went to Quorn against Kettering, and both sides turned up with very depleted squads. Quorn had a lot of injuries and suspensions, so I thought they were going to get beaten by Kettering, but Kettering turned up with only 3 substitutes, so both teams had a lot of injury problems. Quorn ended up winning 2-1, so they've got to the third qualifying round for only the second time in their history. Roaster watched a bit of Pickering Town against Runcorn Linnets. So in the second qualifying round, there was one game on Friday, and that was a bit of a shock result, really, with Folkestone Invicta beating Maidstone United. That's a bit of a giant killing, that one. Yeah, Hereford's game against Sporting Calcer was cancelled. And do you know why that was? It's a bit of a disgrace, to be honest. So there was an incident involving racism at the Sporting Calcer Hereford game. A couple of, can you call them fans, were making certain noises at the Sporting Calcer goalkeeper. Racist remarks all game, and yeah, the game was cancelled as a result. So I don't know if we'll even get to replay that or whether they'll award the tie to Sporting Calcer. Who knows? Yeah, crowd trouble. Awful thing. I had a really good afternoon at Quorn watching a really well contested game. I saw that the Hereford game had been cancelled, and when I found out why it had been cancelled, I felt deflated and just felt so ashamed to be a Hereford supporter. Yeah, they are a Sikh. I think they were set up, I think, to sort of be inclusive and include everyone in football. So of all the places to go, and I mean, it's never okay to go and behave like that at a football match. But yeah, just an absolute disgrace. Yeah, and Sporting Calcer are a very friendly club. I went about 10 seasons ago when Hereford played there. Very good club. Hopefully the goalkeeper's okay, because that was just not acceptable. And if they kick us out, they kick us out. Are the women's team that good? Third tier? I didn't know that. Because I think they've got a 3G surface there, haven't they? So let's go over these second qualifying round ties then. So Runcorn Linnets beat Pickering 2-0 in the early kickoff. AFC Sudbury 1, Aveley 2. This was a bit of a shock result for me. I know they're in the same league, but Telford United 3, Kidderminster Harriers 1. AFC Totton beat Torquay United 2-0. That's also a bit of a shock. And then we've got Alvechurch, who I'm visiting in a few weeks' time, beat higher graded Leamington 3-0. Ashford United 0, Chatham Town 3. Ashton United beat Scarborough 2-0. Another sort of shock result, really. We had Bedford Town 1, Dagenham and Redbridge 1. They'll have a replay this week. Billericay Town 3, Berkhamsted Town 0. Bootle 1, Darlington 3. Bracknell Town beat Tadley Caleva 2-0. Brixham 1, Dorchester 3. We've got Burgess Hill 1, Farnham 3. Bury Town 1, Woodford Town 1. I believe Woodford Town are step 4 as well. So I think that might have been a good result for them there. We've got Buxton 3, Redditch United 0, Chasetown 0, Banbury 0, Chelmsford City 6, Hertford Town 0, Chertsey 2, Cray Valley 3, Chesham United 1, Kings Lynn 4. This one was 5-0 at half time. It finished Coleshill Town 0, Hensford Town 7. That would have been one of my road to Wembley paths had I been following the FA Cup from start to finish this year. Hensford would have been one of my options. Congleton Town 0, Chorley 1, Curzon 4, Hebburn 1, Deal 2, Egham 1, Dorking beat Wingate and Finchley 7-2. Dunstan 1, Stocksbridge 0, Eastbourne 4, Epsom and Newell 0, Ebbsfleet 5, Ashford 0, Enfield 0, Enfield Town 3, Fareham Town 0, Sholing 3, Farnborough 4, Dover 1. Was anyone at any of these games? We had Fylde 4, Bamber Bridge 1, Gainsborough beat Rushall 2-1, Chippenham Town 1-2-1 at Gloucester. We had Poole win at Gosport, Grimsby Borough 1, Halesowen Town 1 is a hell of a result. That's a really good result for Grimsby Borough. They've got to go to Halesowen tomorrow night, I think. Roaster says, my favourite part of the FA Cup is when 8th and 9th tier sides get big football league club. Yeah, I absolutely love it. Love the FA Cup for that reason. Hampton and Richmond beat Croydon 4-2. Bedfont won at Hanwell. Harbour Town came from 2-0 down in the first 15 minutes to beat Worksop Town 3-2. Great result from last year's Giant Killers who got to the second round and took Reading to extra time. I was at Harbour on Tuesday. It's a really nice setup. We had Hemel Hempstead beating Bishop Stortford, Hitchin 1, St Albans 2, Hungerford 3, Swindon Supermarine 0, Hyde 2, Whitby 0, Jersey Bulls 2, Worthing 2, which is a fantastic result for Jersey Bulls. Leiston 4, Hackney Wick 1, Macclesfield 3, Atherton, Laburnum Rovers 0, Maidenhead 0, Faversham Town 1, Malden and Tiptree 2, Stanway Rovers 0. Matlock Town knocked out my local side, Carlton Town. I was hoping Carlton would get through that. Yeah, if Jersey managed to beat Worthing away in a replay, that'll be a hell of a result, Roaster. Merthyr Town beat Torpoint 4-0. Morpeth beat Witton 2-1. Mulbarton Rovers and Witham Town drew 0-0. Nantwich beat Trafford. Needham Market beat Amesbury. Newcastle Blue Star 0, Marine 2. Peterborough Sports 2, Hornchurch 1. It's a great result for Peterborough Sports. The game I was at, Corn 2, Kettering 1. Racing Club Warwick 3, Evesham United 3. Radcliffe 1, Southport 1. Royston 1, Brentwood 0. Salisbury beat Laverstock Green, I think it is, 4-1. Shaftesbury 1, Frome Town 1. Shepshed 0, Stamford 2. Seoul Tower Hamlets is the best name ever. They lost 2-0 to Flackwell. South Shields 2, Guiseley 1. Spalding 3, Alfreton 0. That's a brilliant result for Southern League Prem Central Spalding, who beat higher graded opposition 3-0. Obviously, we had Sporting Calcer and Hereford abandoned due to racism. Like I said earlier, I'm ashamed to be a Hereford supporter in that moment with what happened there. Not good at all. Edward's Footy Predictions says, sorry I'm late. Not a problem at all. We haven't got into the third qualifying draw yet. I'm still going through the second ones. Staley Ridge 1, Chester 2, Staining 2, Tonbridge 2. Sutton Coldfield beat Stourbridge is a bit of a shock result. Taunton drew 1-1 with Weston-super-Mare. FC United of Manchester 0, Chadderton 1. I think that's a bit of a shock result. We had Waltham Abbey 2, Gorleston 0, Welling 1, Slough 1, West Auckland 0, Spennymoor 1. Westbury United beating Oxford City is probably the result of the round there. Westfield 2, Horsham 2, Whitehawk 0, Walton 2, Whitstable 1, Chichester 1, and Wimborne Town beat Bath City. John or JJR Skits, do you know about the diss track? I don't know anything about a diss track. I'm not sure I don't think I even really know what that is. Edward's Footy Prediction says we play Barcelona on Thursday. How are you feeling about that? That's a big game at St. James's. Did Barcelona win 6-0 or something this weekend? So has anyone had a chance to look at the FA Cup third qualifying round draw? There's some good ties in there. So we've got 40 ties in the FA Cup third qualifying round. The draw was made at 1 o'clock today. That's when it was announced, rather. So I'm going to go through these 1 to 40. No, I didn't know Barcelona had to play at the Women's Stadium. Oh, is it Hensford against Billericay? That's, yeah, just seen that. Actually, match 19. That's a decent tie, that is. But I think the first one drawn is probably one of the picks of the round. We've got tie 1 is Chester of the National League North and one of the title contenders against Curzon Ashton, also one of the bigger teams in the National League North. So that's a big one. And we've got two more National League North sides, AFC Fylde versus Darlington. Let me know in the comments if anyone is attending any of these ties. We've got match 3 is Runcorn Linnets, who obviously won the early kickoff on Saturday. They've got Ashton United, who I think, was it Ashton United who beat Scarborough? Spennymoor Town against Chadderton. That's quite a good reward for Chadderton after their shock win, I think it was, against FC United of Manchester. We've got Morpeth Town against Radcliffe or Southport. They've got to play a replay tomorrow night, Radcliffe and Southport. Macclesfield versus Nantwich Town. Dunstan against Gainsborough Trinity. I think that's got to be a favourable tie, really, for Gainsborough, who had a good FA Cup run last season. I met the Gainsborough manager pre-season. Really nice guy. Had a good chat with him about the cup run. Massively important for teams of this size. We've got South Shields against Chorley, so there's a lot of all National League North ties. Edwards Footy Predictions says up the Silkmen. James Ball says hello. Hi, James. James has also been to a FA Cup tie this weekend. I believe he was at Spalding, so there'll be a vlog coming out later. I don't know what time it is. Later this evening, I'd imagine that vlog will be coming out. It really is a lot of National League North sides playing each other, because we've got match 9 is Marine against Buxton. So a lot of the National League North sides are going to go through, but on the other hand, a lot of them are going out as well. Yeah, Spalding versus Alfreton. That's a great win for Spalding, that one. Match 10, Hyde United against Matlock Town, who knocked out my local side, Carlton Town. I was disappointed to see that Carlton went out, because I thought that was a winnable tie for them at Matlock. So Matlock have knocked out 2 of the teams that I'm close to. They've knocked out Bottisford and they've also knocked out Carlton. Those are 2 of my favourite non-league clubs. James wants to see Spalding against Bedford Town. Yeah, they've got to beat Dagenham in a replay though, haven't they, Bedford? We've got Leiston against Chasetown or Banbury United. Obviously, Chasetown had that famous, or 2 famous FA Cup runs. Match 12 is the game that I am most likely to go to. It's Enfield Town against Quorn. I saw Quorn in the last round. I'm probably going to go down and watch them again in the third qualifying round, because it's the furthest they've equalled their best ever run. It's the furthest they've ever got in the competition. Match 13, Needham Market of the Southern League Prem Central against Mulbarton Wanderers or Whittam Town. We've got Bury Town or Woodford Town against St Albans City. Waltham Abbey against Maldon and Tiptree. Maldon and Tiptree obviously had that famous FA Cup run a few years ago when they reached the second round proper. A lot of money at Maldon and Tiptree at the moment. I think Fusion Josh went there on Saturday. He's obviously one of the bigger YouTubers. Just finishing my tea. So we've got as far as match 15. 16, Harborough Town against Peterborough Sports. So it's Southern League Prem Central favourites Harborough against one of the National League North relegation favourites. Although Phil Brown is now manager of Peterborough Sports, so can he turn them around? Harborough knocked out Worksop, came from 2-0 down to beat Works Uptown 3-2. Harbour versus Peterborough Sports. Have I seen it's going to be a replay for Hereford? I'm not sure that we're still not sure what's happening with the Hereford one. So it's either going to be it'll be replayed and it'll be decided on the night, so it won't go to a draw at our place, or we'll get kicked out. It depends how severe the FA decide the racism was. I mean, the racism is not a small issue. Even if it's one person, it's a big problem. So yeah, we might not even get a chance to replay that game. They might just award the tie to Sporting Khalsa. I mean, the football's kind of irrelevant at that point. Behind closed door replay. Yeah, the only trouble with that is it hurts Sporting Khalsa just as much as it hurts Hereford. I think it would be an option to replay it and treat it as a replay, but play it at Edgar Street and then give Sporting Khalsa all the gates. So just had Tom McBride is on, just tuned in. Who did Glossop North End get if they've been drawn? Yeah, they have been drawn. I'm just checking now. Glossop North End. Just working through these fixtures. Yeah, you're right. The behind closed door replay is fair, I guess. Are Glossop still in the FA Cup? So we got as far as match 16, which was Harbour Town against Peterborough Sports. That's the point, actually. Yeah, you might be having me looking at a team that's not even in it anymore. I don't see them on there, but I could have missed them. So yeah, Harbour versus Peterborough Sports. One of the games that I had my eye on was Alvechurch, who knocked out Leamington. So they beat Leamington, but they didn't just beat Leamington; they annihilated Leamington. Beat them 3-0, team from a league above. Alvechurch have been drawn at home to Chelmsford City, which is a big tie there at Lye Meadow. That's tie 17. This one will interest you, James. You already know the ties. It's Spalding United of the Southern Prem Central against either National League North Bedford Town or National League South Dagenham and Redbridge. Big tie for Spalding, that is. But after the way they tore Alfreton apart, it's not going to be one that Bedford or Dagenham are going to be keen on. I think Spalding could beat either of those. Obviously, Dagenham will be the one they want out of those. I might be wrong. As Edward pointed out earlier, match 19 is Hensford Town against Billericay Town. That's a massive game for Hensford. Obviously, they had a good cup run last season, which was ended in that thriller by Gainsborough Trinity. This one's an interesting one. Match 20, Royston Town of the Southern Prem Central against Kings Lynn Town of the National League North. Big game, that. And then 21 is one of the games that I was potentially looking at, which is AFC Telford United against Racing Club Warwick or Evesham United. I think Telford against Evesham will be bigger. Telford against Racing Club Warwick doesn't quite have the same feel to it. I think Telford Evesham's a really good game. Grimsby Borough or Halesowen Town at home to Aveley. And then this one, Hemel Hempstead Town against Sporting Khalsa or Hereford. Obviously, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with the Hereford tie. Like I said, absolute disgrace what happened there at Sporting Khalsa. But if Hereford do get the chance to play the game again and they win, they'll be travelling to Hemel Hempstead Town. Yeah, Grimsby Borough, I'm surprised they got a draw, to be honest. Halesowen are one of the stronger sides in the Southern Prem Central. And are Grimsby Borough step 4, step 5? Sutton Coldfield Town against Stamford. Sutton Coldfield knocked out Stourbridge. Difficult game that is for Stamford, struggling in the Southern Prem Central. Then the winner of Jersey Bulls or Worthing travels to Wimborne Town. We've got Farnham Town against Dorchester Town. Ebbsfleet United play Faversham Town. There's some interesting ties here. That's step 4, so there's only 1 league difference. So Whitstable Town or Chichester City play Hungerford Town. Yeah, it was a local derby, Sutton Coldfield Stourbridge, and I know the Stourbridge goalkeeper. I saw him on Wednesday night, and you'll see if you've seen my vlog from Stourbridge, he made a horrendous mistake in that game and was hoping that they'd bounce back, but obviously they got beaten at Sutton Coldfield, so I hope he didn't make any mistakes in that one. Cray Valley Paper Mills, still in the FA Cup. They reached the first round proper a few years ago. They've got Staining Town Community or Tonbridge Angels. Bedfont Sports Club against Welling United or Slough Town. Merthyr Town of National League North versus Hampton and Richmond Borough of National League South. This should be an intriguing game. Sholing against Eastbourne Borough. We got Westfield or Horsham against Folkestone Invicta. Salisbury against Dorking. Westbury United play Farnborough Town, or Farnborough as it is now. And then this is going to be an interesting one because Poole Town have been drawn at home to either Taunton Town or Weston-super-Mare. So it's a bit of a derby match for them whoever wins that one really. Yes, Edward Merthyr are at home. Merthyr home to Hampton Richmond. That'll be not this coming weekend, but the weekend after. We've got AFC Totton who beat Torquay against Shaftesbury or Frome Town, so potential for Totton to go one further. Got Flackwell Heath against Bracknell Town. Walton and Hersham play Chippenham Town, and then the last tie is Chatham Town against Deal Town. So there's a few intriguing ties in there. Obviously, no new teams have entered at this stage. The National League teams come in the next round. James Boyle says Stamford should be a good game to need some better results or manager will leave. Not good enough start. And is John Weeno going to Taunton in the replay? He might be actually, yeah. Did I say it was Taunton or Weston? He might be going to that game actually, John Sinclair. He covers a lot of games down that way. And I imagine, I just going to predict which tie he's going to go to in the FA Cup. If he's not doing something with Newcastle, I'd imagine he'll probably go to the Poole Town against Taunton or Weston game because that's one of the bigger ties for him. So the games I had my eye on were Alf Church against Chelmsford, which is massive, down at Lime Meadow. It's a big game for Tim Flowers in charge of Alf Church. That was the one I was looking at, but also Telford United against Racing Club Warwick or Evesham. And then I had a message from the secretary at Quorn, who asked if I wanted to travel with the team down to Enfield Town. So that beats it all. It's Enfield Town against Quorn for me in the third qualifying round, and all the teams now are 2 matches away from the first round proper. Will any of these end in a shock result? Who's going to make the first round proper? Of course, in the next round we have the big teams from the National League coming into the competition. So it's a potential for Carlisle or Morecambe or Forest Green or any of the big teams in the next stage. My aim this season was to do a live stream at the end of every draw, but as it happens, the next draw is going to take place while I'm on a plane to Italy, as I'm headed to Naples in a couple of weeks' time. So I won't be covering the fourth qualifying round draw. I'll probably post about it, but I think it's I think I'll still be on the way to Naples. So let's quickly just go recap those ties then. It's Chester against Curzon, Fylde v Darlington, Runcorn Linnets against Ashton United, Spennymoor Town v Chadderton, Morpeth Town versus Radcliffe or Southport, Macclesfield v Nantwich Town, Dunstan versus Gainsborough Trinity, South Shields against Chorley, Marine against Buxton, Hyde United v Matlock Town, Leiston versus Chasetown or Banbury, Enfield Town v Quorn, Needham Market against Mulbarton Wanderers or Witham Town, Bury Town or Woodford Town versus St Albans, Waltham Abbey versus Malden and Tiptree, Harbour Town v Peterborough Sports, Alvechurch against Chelmsford City, Spalding United v Bedford Town or Dagenham, Hensford Town v Billericay Town, Royston Town versus Kings Lynn Town. That's the first half of the draw. Non-league James Boyle says Enfield Town should win that, but we'll see. I think Quorn are going to give anyone a game if they turn up. I think they're going to be really tough to beat. Then the second half of this draw is AFC Telford against Racing Club Warwick or Evesham, Grimsby Borough or Hales Owen v Aveley, Hemel Hempstead v Sporting Calcer or Hereford, Sutton Coldfield v Stamford, Wimborne versus Jersey Bulls or Worthing. Jersey Bulls doing so well to be in this competition still at this stage. Farnham Town v Dorchester Town, Ebbsfleet United v Faversham Town, Whitstable Town or Chichester City against Hungerford Town, Cray Valley Paper Mills against Staining Town Community or Tunbridge Angels, Bedford Sports Club against Welling or Slough, Merthyr against Hampton and Richmond, Sholing v Eastbourne Borough, Westfield or Horsham versus Folkestone Invicta. We got Salisbury v Dorking, Westbury United v Oxford City against Farnborough, Poole Town against Taunton or Weston, Totton against Shaftesbury or Frome, Flackwell Heath v Bracknell, Walton Hersham against Chippenham, and the last one is Chatham Town against Deal Town. Roaster says for the first round draw you could do a live. Yeah, I will be. I'll have it on my TV just there, and I'm going to be going through it as it comes out in real time. That's what I'm aiming to do, as long as I'm not travelling back from a game or anything. Roaster says Quorn will win 2-1. I wouldn't be surprised if Quorn do win that one. Wouldn't be surprised. James says Boston United next round after this. Fourth qualifying round. Hope a close game, but an easy game. Yeah, Boston's struggling a bit this season, aren't they? BCFC could do, but I see a 2-1 loss for them. I'm trying to think who BCFC is here. Yeah, so for the first round draw, I will be doing a live. I think I'm going to do it on all the televised ones. Last season, I managed to watch. I think they hosted it on TalkSport. They had it on their YouTube channel at TalkSport. They actually did the fourth qualifying round draw live, so I watched it because obviously I was following Chelmsford City at that point, and they got drawn. I think they were like the first or second team out of the draw, but TalkSport covered it. I know these games you don't get to watch them, but I love watching the draws, and I wish I could sit and watch them and live stream them. So is anyone else going to a FA Cup game in a couple of weeks' time? As long as Enfield and Quorn doesn't get moved to the Sunday, because I'm flying to Italy on the Monday morning. So as long as that one doesn't get shifted to Sunday, they'll be going to Enfield Town. It'll be a good new ground as well. Yeah, James will be. You've got quite a few options near you, haven't you? And Roaster says Bristol City going to the Prem. They are looking strong. Bristol City are looking strong. What else is everyone doing this week in terms of games then? So I've got my games all sorted now pretty much until I go to Italy. So tomorrow night I'm headed to Bewdley to watch the 10th tier game between Bewdley Town and Redditch Borough. I've been invited there. Bewdley Town seemed like a really nice club. So I'm going to go and catch up with the media manager there. Next Saturday, I'm continuing my Southern League Premier Division Central series with Kettering Town against Bishop Stortford. Should be good. My first trip back to Latimer Park for about 10 years. Then on Monday, I'm at Redditch United against Harbour Town in my Southern League Prem series again. I have then got tickets for Port Vale against Arsenal in the League Cup. So that'll be the first English professional game that I've covered, and it's the end of September. It'll be the first pro game in this country that I'll have covered. And then it's the FA Cup then the following Saturday. I might be able to squeeze a game in on the Sunday, but we'll see. If there's anything nearby, we'll see. Yeah, so we could see a few shocks. Will we get any 8th or 9th tier sides in the first round proper this season? I'm also going to do a video about the first round proper when it comes around. And I'm going to focus on all 32 non-league clubs that qualify for the competition. So I'm going to be making a video and I'm going to focus on them sort of from smallest to biggest based on the ranking. So we'll talk about the lowest ranked team first and the next lowest and the next lowest, talking about all 32 non-league clubs qualify for the FA Cup every season. So I'm going to do a bit of a feature on that as well. And I think in the first round, I'm probably going to follow Exeter, whoever they get, just because they were so good to me in last year's competition. Into Bristol City versus Oxford. What date is it? The first round, do you mean? I think the first round is the first weekend of November, if I remember right. 8th tier side. Yeah, I'm not sure how many 8th and 9th tier sides are left. Edwards Footy predictions might go to Swansea v Forest. Yeah, that's not far from you, is it? It's quite close to Swansea. Yeah, my mate texted me earlier today to say he's got tickets for Port Vale against Arsenal, so I'll be at Vale Park. Spalding or Grimsby for the FA Cup next round. I don't think Grimsby are going to win at Halesowen tomorrow. So let's talk about those replays. Actually, we've got some replays coming. I think there's one today, I think. So is there a replay? No, I was mistaken. There's no FA Cup replays today. So my game this week is a commentary for my local radio on Boston against Boreham Wood. Oh, the third qualifying round. Third qualifying round is 2 weeks' time on the Saturday. So it's the weekend of the 27th. So replays-wise, obviously the Hereford game hasn't been decided when it's going to be replayed or if it's going to be replayed. We'll get an update soon. There's quite a few replays tomorrow night. I've already agreed to go to where am I going? Bewdley Town. I've already agreed, and once I've agreed with a club that I'm going, I don't change that. I think that's quite rude. So there are some intriguing ties, like Halesowen against Grimsby Borough. So tomorrow we've got Banbury United against Chase Town, it looks like a really good tie. I think Chase Town knocked Worcester out in the last round after a replay, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Chase Town go through again. There's Chichester against Whitstable. Shifty Bloke is off to see Worcester City v Real Bedford on Saturday. Not sure what to think. From what I've seen of Worcester, you should be much higher up the league table. So I saw Worcester. I've seen Worcester City twice this season, and they turned up at Halesowen having not won a single game against Halesowen, who were unbeaten, and they had a game plan. And it clearly paid off. They played like quite a strong defensive line against Halesowen to frustrate them. They got the goal, and it got Halesowen all flustered. And I honestly didn't think Worcester were going to take anything from that game. But to go to Halesowen and win 3-0, and to be fair to Halesowen Town, I spoke to Jamie Willits, the Halesowen captain, before the game, and he said Worcester City they don't reflect their league position. They're a much better team than where they were in the league. I obviously then saw Worcester City away at Stourbridge, and they didn't turn up in the first half, 2-0 down at half time, and then suddenly they come back in the game. It was a goalkeeping mistake from Charlie Price, and it finished 2-2. So I think Real Bedford's struggling. I think Real Bedford thought they were going to come into this league and walk it, and I think a lot of people thought they were going to. I don't know. I think you might get a win against Bedford. Is the Halesowen one the only league win of the season for Worcester? Going up the Sugarloaf. I know the Sugarloaf. That's in the Black Mountains, isn't it? James Paul says mid-table for Real Bedford. Wales, 1 hour, 30-minute drive from Bristol. Yeah, I've climbed the Sugarloaf a couple of times because obviously grew up in Hereford, so it's not that far. So we got another intriguing tie. It's a bit far for me to go on a Tuesday night, but it's Dagenham and Redbridge against Bedford Town. Evesham against Racing Club Warwick would be a really good fixture. I think I might have, had I not already agreed with Bewdley Town, I might have gone to Evesham against Warwick. Yeah, Real Bedford or Real Madrid from Temu. Is it Temu or Temu? I guess if you're a Welsh person like me, it's Temu. Halezone against Grimsby Borough. I know how much you want to see Grimsby win that one, James, but I just can't see them going to Halezone and winning. Hereford. Well, yeah, so did you see what happened in the Hereford game at the weekend, Ashley? Am I doing any step 4 to 5 teams in Bedfordshire or Cambridgeshire this season? I haven't planned any, but that doesn't mean I won't. I probably will. I'm quite happy to work around you, James, as well. I'd be good to catch you at a game at some point. Onana got man of the match on his first game for Trabzonspor. Hereford, no, we were winning 2-1, and then a couple of Hereford fans started racially abusing the Sporting Khalsa goalkeeper and had the game abandoned. So we're awaiting Hereford's fate, really. Whether it's going to be replayed at Khalsa, I don't think it'll be tomorrow because it's not even listed on one of these fixtures. It would probably be next week. It'll be replayed with straight to extra time and penalties if drawn. It's just a disgrace, absolute disgrace. And I don't think, obviously, that the Hereford fans' reactions kind of restored my faith a bit because nobody wants this guy or these guys at the club anymore. Racism is not acceptable. But if they kick us out, we can't really complain. So we might not have another FA Cup tie. But should we get a replay and should we get through, we're away to Hemel Hempstead Town, which is a really tough one. And to be fair, we probably won't get through that one. So we got Horsham against Westfield tomorrow. Slough against Welling is a bit of a derby, I think. Southport against Radcliffe. There's a guy I know that I think might be potentially going to that one. We've got Tonbridge against Staining Town. Weston-super-Mare against Taunton. Yeah, James Boyle, I think John Sinclair is going to that one. Weston against Taunton. No, Edward. National League teams are in the fourth qualifying round. Witham Town against Mulbarton Wanderers. Worthing against Jersey Bulls. Ashley says yes. I think expulsion. I should take the penalty and concentrate on the league. Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with both. Yes, do we deserve to be expelled from the FA Cup for the actions of two? I think it was two supporters. The team shouldn't have to suffer. The fans shouldn't have to suffer for that. But they also need to take a stand against that kind of behaviour. So if taking a stand means we get expelled, then yes, totally agree. At this point, whatever decision the FA makes, we have to live with. And if the FA decide kick Hereford out, nobody will complain. If the FA decides we'll replay it at Khalsa, we won't complain. We've got a second chance. But what needs to happen is the supporters involved need a stadium ban, a lifetime stadium ban, because that behaviour isn't acceptable. And also dish out prison sentences. If found guilty, prison sentences. Who's going to go to a game and start shouting racial slurs if the risk is there of them going to prison? Because I think from what I've heard, these might be people that are banned from Edgar Street already. These might be people that have already been banned from Edgar Street. So who knows? The club aren't going to release the names, so we'll see. So James has said, I'm just going to catch up with some of these messages. James has said, might go to some games in Peterborough or Marchtown and around there, Cambridgeshire, Norfolk. Might go back to Bedfordshire to see AFC Dunstable or Dunstable Town this season. So yeah, so John Sinclair is going to Weston. Roaster is going to Weston in April. Yeah, that's very close to you in Bristol, isn't it? James says Hereford game should be replayed. Shifty bloke says, I did have the message, but I've just scrolled past it. As of right now, but I agree with you on everything. I think Real Bedford have had an unpleasant start, but I still wouldn't take anything away from them. And I think that's the beauty of the Southern League Prem Central, to be honest. I don't think there are any games you can take for granted. I don't think, like, take Quorn, for example. They've got off to a brilliant start. You'd expect them to lose at Harbour, which they did. But they'd hammered Sudbury and they'd hammered Stratford, and then they lost at home to Barwell. So it shows how competitive that league is. Ashley says, no, true. Why should you suffer because of one or two? Yeah, you're right. I was just thinking maybe they'd be able to control their fans. Hereford FC's, the football club's response has been outstanding. And what makes it even more outstanding is the fact that Paul Caddis, our manager, was the one that took the players off the pitch. It wasn't the Sporting Khalsa manager, it was the Hereford manager and staff that took the players off the pitch. So we're winning that game 2-1 and Paul Caddis drags them off. So fair enough. Yeah. What's that? Spam caller. Just had a scammer try to call me. Shifty bloke hoping Worcester can get a win. I think you might beat Bedford. I think you might do it. I personally think Sporting Khalsa deserve an automatic 3-0 win. Like I said, if they did get a 3-0 win, I don't think anyone at Hereford would complain. I do think it derails our season because I know that Paul Caddis was banking on a good cup run to boost the budget so we can get more players in. But if they give Khalsa the win, they give Khalsa the win. Edward says, I was going to go to Swansea v Forest, but I've caught a cold, so I'm not going tomorrow. That's fair enough. I don't think the weather's going to be very nice tomorrow. I just hope it's not too rainy, as I don't think there's much shelter at Bewdley. James Boyle says, love what the keeper did on socials, and at Spalding we had a person apparently saying some homophobic language at half-time, which is unacceptable as well. Yeah, discrimination of any form just isn't welcome. And I think there needs to be harsher punishments because these people that go out there and they shout homophobic things or make monkey noises at the goalkeeper, which is what happened at Khalsa, they think it's acceptable to do that. And I think that if you start dishing out prison sentences for this sort of thing, it'll deter people from that sort of behaviour. So you go and shout a racial slur at a football match, you do a month in prison, who's going to risk that? That's the way to counter it. It needs to be really, really harsh. Sheffield United have reappointed Wilder. Well, what a silly move that was, getting rid of Wilder in the first place. Did anyone think any good was going to come of that? Roaster says you could do a Ballon d'Or live stream or Q&A. I don't know enough about the Ballon d'Or, to be honest. I don't really follow it because with the non-league stuff I do, like I'm really out of the loop with that. Like I didn't even know what the Premier League scores were at the weekend until Sunday. Ashley says that league is exciting. I'm kind of going for Harbour. I find them refreshing, and whoever wins the playoff. Yeah, Harbour don't give up. Before Saturday in the FA Cup, they'd only conceded 3 goals all season. I went to Harbour Tuesday, and it looked as though Quorn were going to get a point, but they kept going and they scored on the 90 plus 6. They got their winner. Harbour, they're such a good team. And against Worksop, 2-0 down after 15 minutes. Keeper saves a penalty. If they go 3 down, they're out. Keeper saves a penalty. They get a goal back just before half time, and they're back in it, and they go and win it 3-2. I spoke to Mitch Austin, the Harbour manager, as well. What a nice guy. What a nice bloke. What a nice team. Really do appreciate Harbour. Roaster says Sheffield United will sack Wilder and get some random dosser in, then reappoint Wilder. Really weird decision. A bit like the decision for Forest getting rid of Nuno. I don't know what anyone thinks of that. Chris Wilder's back at Sheffield. It's bizarre. You just keep him in. Edward says Ballon d'Or is nonsense anyway, especially if Bonmati is a favourite for no reason. Wilder is such an underrated manager, and Sellers is a fraud. Is Sellers the guy that came from? Was he Hull or was he Plymouth? Forest getting rid of Nuno was, yeah. I mean, I rate Ange Postecoglou. I do think Ange is a good coach, but just getting rid of someone like Nuno after what he's achieved at Forest. They're in Europe for the first time in 30 odd years. They reached Wembley for the first time in 30 years. The FA Cup semi-final, rather. They were at Wembley for the Championship playoff a few seasons ago. Apparently Marinakis and Ange went on holiday together. Yeah, they're quite close, aren't they? I think as soon as I saw that Nuno had gone, I think I kind of knew that it was going to be Ange Postecoglou in there. Ashley says, I hadn't heard of Harborough prior to last year. Hadn't been looking past the third tier for a few years, but I'm watching it more now. And that exactly, Ashley, is what is happening with a lot of people. As the prices go up and up and up in the Premier League, and the big clubs start pricing out the fans, you get people turning towards non-league football. I was at Harbour Town on Tuesday, and the attendance was nearly 700, which is amazing for a Step 3 game or 7th tier game, if you like. And I think a lot of people hadn't heard of Harbour before last year, but it's a really nice setup there. Really friendly group. I hadn't got hold of anyone at the club, so I just went up to their manager after the game and just asked him for an interview, and he was brilliant. He was absolutely brilliant. Such a friendly guy. Muslik was Plymouth. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. I kind of got those two mixed up. 780 plus at Spalding at the weekend, and that's brilliant too. I watched the second tier because my team is in the second tier, and that's fair enough. Harbour Spanish channel doing the reaction to the game is so good too. Yeah, they've got a bizarre kind of Spanish following at Harbour Town, and I asked the chairman about it, and he said that they did a work event and they streamed like a game to someone that he worked with in Spain, and it just kind of took off. So it's a bizarre sort of love for Harbour Town, but I really like the fact that Harbour Town's Spanish page shared my match vlog on Twitter. It's amazing. I really enjoyed that. Yeah, so it's Bewdley Town for me tomorrow. Nice 10th tier game. They seem like a very friendly club as well. Bewdley Town. Are you going to a game this weekend, James? And Spanish fans went to a game too and brought flares. Yeah, I remember they did. They took the Spanish fans to a game like at the end of last season. Ashley says non-league's attendances have skyrocketed. You only got those numbers in the conference in the 90s. I don't remember it being this great before. No, and I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that obviously I'm not going to say that people like us that vlog games are responsible, but I think that you do have a lot more people like Fusion Josh around the grounds and people that go and vlog the games. I've not been doing it very long, so I wouldn't include myself alongside those people. And they kind of expose non-league football to more people. You've also got the prices going up and up in the higher leagues. You've got the Premier League sides that don't take the FA Cup seriously. You've got things like Man United shifting people who've had season tickets for years. I think people are starting to get disillusioned by the top leagues, and I think that even with the international break, like you just see less and less people care about international football now. I mean, I don't care about international football at all. I do watch the odd Wales game, but not really bothered about internationals. So then also when the international breaks are on, you have people that will go and watch their local non-league clubs. And you've got things like non-league day as well. That's usually hosted in March. And yeah, people are going to non-league football, realizing that the managers talk to me, the players talk to me. I can go and have a chat with the managers in the bar after. I can meet the players, and it's another world. And it is non-league football is a brilliant world. When is the Ballon d'Or roster? This is how out of touch I am with it, because I don't even know when it is. I don't know who the candidates are. I'd imagine Yamal is probably a candidate for it. Barcelona women don't know how to lose. Bristol City should play them. Manchester United, I can get a ticket for minimum £69 and March 28th. March 28th this year. I'll definitely be covering something on non-league day. Yeah, it's non-league football is amazing. Non-league football is a brilliant world. Like, I've got a lot of ties with Quorn, Carlton, Botsford, teams like that. Even Gedling Miners Welfare just down the road from me, less than a mile from my house. And you go there and people chat to you. You go to like Carlton and people get addicted to it. It's a brilliant world. And even the reason I'm sort of covering the Southern League Premier Central this season is the clubs in the league are big enough that they have like quite a big following, but they're also not too big to care about the supporters. So, like, I went to Halesowen against Worcester, the game that Worcester won, and I asked if I could catch the Halesowen manager, Russ Penn, after the game, and some of the officials were like, oh, no, he's not in a very good mood. They've lost 3-0. He's not in a good mood. But he came out and he gave such a brilliant interview. And he said to me after, oh, yeah, I've always got time for people that promote non-league football. So, yeah, Dembele deserves Ballon d'Or next Monday. James Boyle says, going to get a Manchester United ticket got one for my birthday, but not picked a game yet. Love non-league games. First games I went to as a kid at 3/4. Yeah, I was 9 when I went to my first game. I was at Hereford. Ashley, I'm not really a one-team person. I'm Australian, so I kind of like a teams who run up the leagues like Salford and Bromley, heaps of clubs, and that's fine. Like, I'm a Hereford supporter, so a lot of these clubs I won't support when they play Hereford. Obviously, I played for Bromsgrove Rovers when I was younger, so I'm still attached to Bromsgrove Sporting. And there's teams like Quorn, there's teams like Carlton Town, Bottisford Town, Gedling Miners Welfare, all clubs that I go and visit, and they all treat me so well. So yeah, I'm a multi-team kind of guy at the moment. Like I said, Bewdley Town against Redditch Borough tomorrow. Bewdley Town seem amazing, like so friendly. I don't have a team. I don't have Hereford United. I like this team and that team, and that's fair enough. Halesowen Town manager. Yeah, Halesowen Town manager is Russ Penn, who used to play for Kidderminster Harriers. First game, Bristol City 4, Sheffield Wednesday 0. Yeah, mine was a friendly. It was Hereford United against West Brom, and it finished 2-2. A pre-season friendly. Good game. Gaming Blomp is better than Bon Mati. Maybe when I was younger. I don't think I could even run at the length of the pitch now. Right, I'm going to end the live shortly, guys. Yes, just before I do go, non-league James Boyle vlog is out 7 or 8 p.m. tonight, so look out for that. Make sure you are subscribed to non-league James Boyle, particularly if you like non-league football. Edward was Manchester United v Inter Milan in 2019. That's a hell of a first game, that is. Hell of a first game. Right, thanks for joining, guys. I'm going to go and train. I kind of missed a lot of training last week because I went to so many football matches, so I need to try and get myself in shape. So enjoy all the games you're headed to, Ashley says that's why I like your shows, because I can appreciate knowing a bit about the team makes me like them more. That's brilliant. Glad I can help with that. James's first game was a Boston United League 2 match. Shifty Bloke says, you're currently my favourite non-league YouTuber. I found your series in the Southern League excellent and really enjoy your style and video layout. Keep going with it, I say. And thank you so much for that comment. That really means a lot, because a lot of effort does go into these vlogs and these videos. So I massively appreciate your comment. And thanks for your support with it. So with that series, my next one is Kettering Town on Saturday. I'm then at Redditch United next Monday. Then it's FA Cup. Then I'm in Italy. And after that, I think it's the 18th of October that I am at Worcester City. I'm really looking forward to going to Six Ways. I think by the end of November, I'll have been to 15 of the grounds in this league. James Boyle says, good luck with the vlogs this week. Thank you very much. Like I said, thanks for joining, guys. I do have to get off now, so feel free to check out some of my vlogs. There will be a vlog out from Bewdley Town against Redditch Borough on Wednesday, which will be my next vlog. See you next time, guys. I think the next live stream will be at some point next week, but I'm not too sure when yet. Thanks, guys.